Queen Elizabeth II was one of the most recognizable figures in the world, a monarch who reigned for over 70 years. But while the world saw grace, duty, and tradition, few knew what truly went on behind the palace walls. What was it like to live every moment under the gaze of millions, yet feel completely alone? Today, we dive into the untold life of Queen Elizabeth II, the secrets, the pressures, and the personal sacrifices that defined her reign. This isn't the history book version. This is the story the cameras never showed. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor was born in 1926 into a comfortable royal life, but not destined for the throne. She was third in line, a spare in a world of tradition. But that all changed in 1936 when her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated the throne to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson. In a matter of days, her father became King George VI, and Elizabeth became the heir presumptive, at just 10 years old. Her childhood shifted overnight. Playtime was replaced with protocol. Private tutors taught her law, history, languages, but also how to hold an emotion. Even from a young age, Elizabeth understood that her future would be one of silence, duty, and sacrifice. Behind her calm exterior was a girl quietly preparing to carry a nation. In 1947, at the age of 21, Elizabeth married Philip Mountbatten, a naval officer with royal roots but no fortune. Their love story was real, but their marriage would face constant strain. Prince Philip struggled with his role, always one step behind his wife. He gave up his naval career, his surname, and even his home country's traditions to serve a monarchy that rarely said thank you. Elizabeth, now queen by age 25 after her father's early death, was suddenly the face of a nation in post-war recovery. While the world saw glamour, she and Philip lived under pressure, raising 4 children while juggling global responsibilities. Their relationship wasn't without conflict. Philip was blunt and strong-willed, Elizabeth, quiet but determined. Yet together, they formed a bond rooted not just in love, but in understanding that their union was as much about duty as it was about devotion. Being queen meant being a mother from a distance. Elizabeth's role often kept her away from her children for months at a time. Prince Charles, her eldest, grew up in a world of formality and nannies. He once described his childhood as emotionally distant, and it showed. The cracks deepened when Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981. What started as a fairy tale turned into one of the most public royal breakdowns in history. Elizabeth stayed silent for years, even as tabloids exploded with stories of affairs, arguments, and heartbreak. But when Diana died in a tragic car crash in 1997, the Queen faced a wave of public anger. Why wasn't she speaking? Why didn't she return to London? The truth? She was trying to shield her grandsons, William and Harry, from more pain. But the silence only made things worse. When she finally addressed the nation, her words were calm, but her eyes revealed grief few had seen before. The 1990s were called the Queen's Annus Horribilis, her horrible year. Fires, divorces, and family breakdowns marked a period of turmoil. But the problems didn't stop there. In later years, Prince Andrew's scandal over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein brought disgrace to the monarchy. The Queen had to strip him of royal duties, a painful but necessary decision. Then came Harry and Meghan's dramatic departure from royal life. The couple's interviews revealed deep rifts, and once again, the Queen found herself caught between tradition and family loyalty. And in 2021, she lost Prince Philip, her partner of over 70 years. For the first time, she sat alone at a funeral, a haunting image of grief and isolation. The woman who had weathered so many storms was now facing the twilight of her reign alone. Throughout her life, Queen Elizabeth followed a simple rule: never complain, never explain. It became her shield and her prison. Behind closed doors, aides said she was warm, witty, even humorous. But the public rarely saw it. Every emotion was controlled. Every crisis met with calm. This silence protected the monarchy, but it also kept her isolated. How did she really feel when Diana died? What were her private thoughts on Meghan's allegations? On Brexit? On the pandemic? We may never know. The Queen kept her views locked away, not out of coldness, but because she believed her personal feelings were less important than the symbol she represented. And that's the part of her life most misunderstood. She wasn't just wearing a crown, she was carrying the expectations of a nation on her shoulders. Queen Elizabeth II reigned through war, peace, scandal, and transformation. She met with every U.S. president since Truman, saw 15 British prime ministers, and led a commonwealth of 2.5 billion people. But behind all that, behind the jewels, the titles, and the ceremonies, was a woman who rarely got to be just herself. Her legacy isn't just the longevity of her reign. It's the quiet strength she showed when the world fell apart, the poise she held when her family faltered, and the silence she kept when the world demanded noise. She was more than a queen. She was a mystery, one that history may never fully unravel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more untold stories from the world's most powerful families.